Hey, thanks for stopping into Night Shift Video. My name is James, and tonight I am joined by my special guest.
Hello, I'm Danny.
He's not really that special. He basically works here.
Thank you.
But it's all good. He is one of my many co-hosts aplenty.
Yeah.
There's not plenty. There's four
Tons
of
of
you,
them.
but you know,
And we're all special.
you're all special in your own special way.
Mm.
Danny, tonight I have a creepy story for you. So we started this segment. I call it Chiller Time
Ooh.
because it's a play on Miller Time.
Oh, you can't say it.
I think I can.
I don't know.
I think I can say that. I don't think I can get DMCA'd
Original,
for saying
maybe.
that.
Probably not. Chiller time.
We typically drink High Life on the show, but you know, we've all kind of been branching out on our beer selection lately.
Yeah.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah, good for us.
We got in a real big High Life rut for pretty much an entire year. So
yeah.
it's good to be stretching our beer palate.
Yeah.
This isn't a beer
Yeah.
podcast, but there you go.
We're buying big boy beers now. Watch out. It's chiller time.
It's chiller time. Okay, so this is actually a story on Reddit that is apparently true. It's on our Paranormal Encounters, which is supposed to be reserved for true paranormal stories, not things that are made up that would show up on Creepypasta or No Sleep.
All right.
And this is from a user called Crazyturtlemama.
Oh, it
It was
sounds
posted about 3 months ago.
legitimate already.
Yeah, we'll link to it in the notes and all those things.
What's Crazyturtlemama got to say?
So this is a story about a haunted house, and it is called The Evil That Lives Here. My story is true, believe it or not. My name is Brandy. I'm 56, and I live in Washington. All these years, my kids wanted me to write down the events that happened to myself and our family. Quite a few members of the family have passed, and I didn't want these experiences to die with them. So for my children, here it goes. A lot of messed up supernatural things have happened in my life, with most of them with witnesses. This is one of them. About 25 years ago, while house hunting for a rental, I met the former renter of this rundown but livable house. She warned me not to rent it because I have small children. And not only is it run down, it is also very haunted.
Oh.
And never, she was very stern about this, never let a man live here with you.
Wow. This person really doesn't know how to sell an apartment, but
well, they're not the landlady. They were a former
the
renter.
renter. That's right.
Former renter.
That's right.
Yep. Never let a man live here with you. He will be taken over by the evil that lives here. Now, I'm thinking that she's crazy or she was just mad at the landlord for something.
Definitely.
And, you know, we needed a home. We needed it desperately. I was thinking that I've lived through worse, so I just blew it off. I ended up renting the house and realizing I should have heeded her warning. The whole house was old and made of wood. The walls, the doors, the ceiling, all wood. The main living space was long and open. It was always cold and located in the high desert of California. On the corner of an acre lot of the barren desert, across the street there was a grocery store, a few small businesses, but everything too far away for anyone to really hear us. It served as a town hall back in the day.
Oh.
It's kind of interesting that there wasn't really anything close by. In the Midwest, at least, I don't know a lot about how small towns in California were built, but in the Midwest, at least, usually a town hall is built, and then like a little business sector kind of surrounds that, and then residential sectors surround that, and just kind of spirals outward from the town hall. Very rarely do you see a town hall away from town.
Set away from everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, interesting. Maybe the town hall thing's BS, but that's part of the story. And it was 6 a.m. and it was 6 a.m. and there was a 3-day trip to Disneyland planned. My kids, age 1, age 4, and age 3, were all sleeping on my bed in my bedroom, and at the other end of the house, I need to start all of that over.
You got this.
It was 6 a.m. and there was a 3-day trip to Disneyland planned. My kids, Michael, age 1, Penny, age 4, and Jenny, age 3, were all sleeping on my bed in my bedroom at the other end of the house so that I could pack for the trip in the dining room and not wake them. But I could see the bedroom door, and it was closed. I was standing up, folding clothes for the trip at the dining table. My mother-in-law, Opal, was sitting across from me, and we heard the bedroom door open slightly. We both looked, and it was my daughter, Jenny, in her little pink and white flowered onesie. Jenny was the 3-year-old. I said, Jenny, you know it's too early. Go back to bed. And she said, me up now, Mommy.
That sounds like a 3-year-old.
In her sweet little voice. I'm not going to imitate her voice. It made us both chuckle, and I said to Opal, she's really excited for the trip, you know. I said, no, baby, we're not going now. Please go back to bed. She stomped her foot, which we could feel through the floorboards. My mother-in-law said, you'd better go put her back to bed, and I agreed. I am making the long walk towards her, and I'm keeping eye contact. As I'm walking, I say, no, baby, and once again, she stomps her foot. She smiles, and she says, me up, with the sweetest little smile, and she tilts her head. Opal even said, aw. It did not dawn on me at the time how perfect her little pigtails were. At this point, I'm extending my hands toward her, but that smile... I get about 6 inches from touching her. She turns black and disappears almost like sand falling to the ground, the door quickly closing behind her. My mother-in-law had a surprised response and literally said, what the hell? Shocked, I stood there with my hands still extended, and then fear came all over my body like hot and cold needles. My kids were behind that door that just closed. I grabbed the handle and swung the door open, fearing the worst, only to find Jenny fast asleep, with her sister's legs laying over her. So there was no way it could have actually been her.
Yep.
We went on our trip, but when we came home, we were met with all the lights in the house on and music playing very loudly. There were French doors all along the front of the house, and we could see people in there dancing around. I turned to my husband and asked him if he left the door unlocked and the lights on. Of course, he said no.
Yep.
We all got out of the car and cautiously approached the front door. The kids were scared and the dog was growling. I grabbed the doorknob to put my key in, and the music stopped and all the lights went out. I opened the door and we heard nothing. Nothing had been moved and no one was there. I couldn't get that image of the sad little girl I saw standing in the hallway that night out of my head. Later, I found out more about her and the house. We eventually got out of that house after living through horror, not knowing from day to day what was going to happen next and who was safe. I later left my husband because of the atrocities that he put us through while living there.
Oh.
We all cried with relief many years later when we found out the house was demolished to the ground. More houses were built on that land. I often wonder if the evil stayed on that property. For many years, we were afraid to even travel down that street. If you read to the end, then I thank you. This is the first time I've ever written about my experiences.
Bullcrap.
You know the fun thing?
Yep.
She wrote more.
Oh, did she?
There's 4 parts to this story.
Oh my God.
And we only read the first part.
I feel like she capped it off nicely there. What else did
she said the atrocities that her husband put us through and all these things that they experienced there.
Oh.
There's more to the story.
It did seem
of the evil that lives here.
Pretty contained. The evil. And nothing really bad ever happened. It was just spooky.
Yeah.
You know?
The evil parts come later.
What was the daughter's name?
Jenny.
Cute.
With a G. So probably Virginia.
True story. This is a true story.
This is apparently a true story. We are to believe this to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Because of where it has been posted in a subreddit specifically for true paranormal encounters.
How does this fall in the believable scale of your experiences in reading spooky stories?
You know, there are parts of it that don't sound right. The part about the town hall doesn't sound right.
Yeah, that's probably just some bullcrap, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
That seems way off base with how she describes the house being so desolate. On top of that, a lot of it has that vibe of a pretty good creepypasta, and not necessarily a true story.
Mm-hmm.
What I found, most actual true encounters stories that I find, and I'm trying to share some of those on the show as well, but most of the ones that I find are so short that I would have to like read like 5 or 6 of them to like fill the time slot that I want to fill.
Yeah.
And so the fact that this is much longer also kind of makes me question it whenever most people's stories are much shorter. I shared 2 of my own mysterious, unexplained stories, situations that had happened to me on the last chiller time. And I did that in like 30 seconds. Like when you have something weird that happens, you usually don't have all of this information.
Sure.
But
sure.
Again, there are 4 parts to this story. Maybe we'll visit it again. Maybe not. We'll see.
Maybe. I'll tell you the one thing that I find the most creepy, but also maybe the least believable. It was the very beginning. The renter told the person,
Yeah.
this place is haunted.
Don't do that.
It's like, I guess I would be terrified if somebody told me, hey, you're moving to my place. It's haunted. Good luck. But then at the same time, I would immediately question that person's sanity and call bullcrap.
Oh, 100%. I wouldn't
Right.
believe it all. She didn't believe it. That's why she moved in.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I didn't plan on sharing a personal weird story tonight, but you saying that reminded me that I actually have one.
Tell it.
And again, I'll tell you, these stories tend to be very short. So my half sister lived in this apartment, which is like a duplex house. And later on in life, I moved in there with a bunch of my friends. Not necessarily in any connected way whatsoever. Like someone else had bought it. We knew the person who had bought its son, and he got us in touch with his mom to be our new landlady and hooked us up with this great apartment that she would let like 6 of us live in, so that we only had to pay like $100 a month. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it was great. But later on, did I find out that my half sister, who is really into kind of metaphysical things and crystals, and even she's kind of dabbled in like Wicca and stuff like that. She's really into that kind of thing.
Yep.
She claims wholeheartedly that that place was haunted. And we kind of had an interesting experience there.
Please.
So it's an old house that was made into a duplex. There's an upstairs and a downstairs. In one of the bedrooms is a doorway that opens up into a stairwell that was probably originally stairs to go to the second floor of the house.
Right.
But now they still had to like legally keep it there as like a fire escape.
Oh, okay.
So like if the guys upstairs caught on fire, he could like get out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So it has to be there. But of course, we're not like really like gonna just let that be open. Like we're not gonna follow rules or anything. So my friend who had that bedroom was the bass player in our band. He had a giant 810 bass cabinet. If you don't know what that is, it's about the size of a refrigerator, and speakers, big old speakers, what it is. And so we would set that against that door in his room that led to the creepy stairway, which was kind of a fire escape.
Gotcha.
Well, we came home multiple nights from shows because we would go play shows late at night in different towns around the Midwest and then drive back home, and his bedroom light would be on. And it just seemed super weird, right? None of the other lights in the house would be on. And he would always swear he left it off whenever we left. But his bedroom light would always be on whenever we came home. And so, of course, we got to thinking, that guy's coming down and getting in our apartment.
Yeah.
Like, what's the other logical explanation? It's either ghosts or this guy's coming down and getting in our apartment.
Right. It's not any other old just random bedroom where it's happening. It's the one with the stairs.
Just the one with the stairs.
Sure.
And so one day, we're packing up to leave to go play a show. And Scott turns off his light. We go get in the van. Everybody piles in. Scott's light's on. We're like, holy shit. And so we run back in there. Turn off the light. Nobody's in there. We run back in there, kind of expecting to catch him in the act.
Yeah.
We turn off the light. Nobody's in there. So then we're like, okay, this time, everybody act like you're going to leave. And like, just 2 of us will stay in here in the dark with the light off. So if he comes down here, catch him.
Catch him.
And like, we're gonna beat him up or anything. We're just like, bro, what the fuck? Like,
Yep. Yep.
We caught
It's
you.
a reasonable response.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sure.
Like,
Were you one of the inside people?
I was one of the inside people.
Okay.
I think it was me and Scott stayed inside.
Okay.
Everybody else went and got in the car. And we're just standing there in pitch darkness. And we don't hear a single sound. And then the light turns on. It's like, what the fuck? And so I turn the light back off. A couple seconds later, the light turns on. And so one last time, while we're standing there,
Yep.
I turn the light off. And the guy from upstairs yells, "Stop messing with the light switch!"
God.
Apparently, the way this old ass house was wired, the light switch in Scott's room also controlled the light in his bedroom. We just kept turning the lights off on him.
Lord. You had me. I was there. I was scared. I'm trying to reason it out.
And that's a true story, folks. And that is about all the time that we have for today. For Night Shift Video, my name is James. This is my friend.
Danny, hi, Danny.
And we're just saying, thanks for stopping in.